Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our newest town hall. And thank you so much for joining us. We are gathered live today on November the 10th, and we are ready to kick off. I am your host, Mr. Vanguard, and I will be joined, of course, by the one and only Duke himself, represented today by the official at @serum_Dow account. Good morning, Duke. How are you? And welcome.
Good evening, V, even. Or good morning, whichever one you want. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Thank you so much. Welcome. Welcome to all of our guests as well. Thank you for taking your time to join us on a Sunday. We are going to be getting into some very important information today. But first, before we get started with today's important info to come, we're going to take a look back and a recap at what transpired over the past month. So first and foremost, to kick off the month of October, the cartel celebrated their third anniversary. And with this, it was the perfect opportunity for us to look back at what we're able to accomplish as a community together within the mutant cartel world, and a opportunity as well to put a pin on our timeline for what is to come and the excitement we have surrounding the Serum DAO and its expansion of the mutant cartel world to come. And that occurred at the beginning of the month of October. Also in October, and in grand fashion, the mutant cartel and novel labs in general put their flag and planted it in Lisbon as we showcased a grand display at the NBA location on the Friday of 8Fest, offering partygoers the opportunity to take advantage of a real-time slot machine and see a sneak preview of a 3D fused hound, in addition to being one of the grandest setups of all of the MBAs. Next, on the following evening, we hosted the Mutant Cartel World and all ape kind at the Serum City Docks at K Urban in Lisbon, Portugal. Widely regarded as one of the best events of the weekend, and of course, we left our handprint all throughout the city as we represented well for all cartelians everywhere. And to wrap up the month of October, as we led into November, we launched the Serum DAO Light Paper, which to many has been regarded as the heavy paper, but has set the tone for the opportunity for us to understand what is to come with the Serum DAO. And last, and certainly not least, but now the starting point for the DAO to begin, we also released the Serum Passport Claim, which is live as we speak. And you can find out more details by clicking the official at @serum_Dow account, which is up on stage at this time. And also, we're going to be getting into some more information right now. So we're going to welcome the Duke back up to the stage to fill us in on what we need to do.
Cheers, V. You had a bit of an echo going on there, which was sort of added gravitas. It was quite good. Yeah, I'll start by saying, for those of you that attended 8Fest, I hope you had a good knees up and enjoyed the trip. It was a good turnout, great city, and flowers to Yuga and all the extended communities that hosted events and for helping coordinate that. I think we welcomed north of 600 apes and cartel holders to our own after party that we hosted with Portugal Apes and Zata. As an independent community hosting a side event, it was a lot more than we probably anticipated and planned for, but I hope those that got in had a good time. So turning the lens on Serum DAO today and looking to clarify some of the details that have already been shared, and trying to chart some of the details that are coming with both the token and the Hideout app. I'll also touch on Fusion towards the end, as it was one of the common questions that's been raised in these preloaded these preloaded sort of format for questions. So a lot of information on Serum DAO, as V just mentioned, is in the light paper, or the heavy paper, as it's been colloquially called. I appreciate that there is a lot of information in there. It probably creates a lot of questions, and that the staggered nature of the way we're rolling out things means that some of the information is being purposefully timed. We will get a condensed cheat sheet for those of you that can't bear reading it out this week. So as V mentioned, at the turn of month, we launched the first room in the Hideout and the Serum Passports, which are a soul-bound store of your reputation. They're a free claim on ApeChain and eligible to every MAYC holder and holder of a Mutant Cartel World asset, to include Serum City HQs. So that's oaths, hounds, inscriptions. You can go and claim. All you have to do is navigate to serumdao.xyz and follow the steps. If you need any help, drop into the cartel Discord. So reputation is primarily used as a governance multiplier in the future voting of the DAO, and it's entirely separate to the token allocation of Serum, which also does not require a Serum passport to receive the token. So I think it's important that we just clarify that at first. The passport and the reputation that's anchored to it are a proprietary build of ours, and the intention is to give greater influence to the direct contributors in decision making. Currently, it draws from 3 components. So the spread of holdings across the MCW and MAYC, your rank within the cartel, and the roles that we've earmarked within our Discord. So anyone can apply to join the cartel ranks or propose a new role directly within the Discord. Essentially, ranks are an organic measure of contribution, and roles are intended as a signal of a special function within our ecosystem. So currently that's reserved to the role is currently reserved to those leading the growth of the Mutant Hound factions or building within them. However, you can go get more information again from the Discord, or when it comes to factions, specifically reaching out to Kodiaks, I believe is in the audience. I'd also encourage anyone that sort of wants to proactively get involved in a function or take something on, or has an idea, raise it as a ticket, share it with a mod, just generally push it in the Discord chat. The best idea should win. And there are plenty of hands and ears in there, and we'll be enabling a lot more for contributors in the coming weeks. So those current components, ranks, holdings, roles, they're largely static indicators. I mean, they do move when you obviously buy holdings and things like this, but our intention is to augment this reputation score with more actionables that tie neatly into what we plan for the growth marketing of Serum DAO. So that means the next components that we'll be activating will be around social ambassadorship, event attendance, both digitally and in real life, and specific quests that would be actioned from within the Hideout or potentially the Discord that tie into growth actions of the DAO. In the wider timeline, the next step is to introduce these components to the existing reputation score, provide a way of viewing your Serum allocation, and designating the first allocation of Serum via our retroactive snapshot. So I can break that down a bit further as well. It means, as it was stated in the light paper, but it does mean that what we're employing is a preliminary point system to our token generating event. That allows points to be accrued across that can be later redeemed for Serum at the TGE. So the first snapshot will take place in the coming weeks and allocate points based on your holdership and your historic participation in Serum City. There will be ways of proactively farming points on the seasonal road to our token generating event, which we've penciled in for early Q1. And points essentially allow us to build the momentum of the launch. They allow us to do a few things flexibly, And they also allow us to align the incentives of what we're trying to achieve with the wider mutant cartel world. I'll make some final points on serum before I hand it back to V.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
I love that. That was my Alexa, so ignore that. The way we've designed the tokenomics is to incentivize the progression of burning mechanics and participation in everything we do. So the idea of, let's say, collars progressing towards fusion. So for instance, those that secured fusing materials would receive additional weight in their token allocation over, let's say, hounds at the snapshot in the coming weeks, or mutant hound inscriptions, which do receive an allotment, will receive a supplementary allocation for evolving their ordinals. They sit on the same set, so you're receiving additional serum for having participated in a mechanic. Appreciate there's quite a lot to digest here, so you don't have to take it all down. We'll have a recap and we'll pin it in the Discord and to this post. I'm quite happy to pause there, V. I don't know if you've got any questions or anyone does before I can jump into Fusion and give a bit of an insight into what we're doing there.
Yeah, let's. How about we catch our breath for a second there, because as always, the Duke comes with some information that we absolutely need to know, and certainly some things that we want to kind of focus on and highlight. But certainly anyone who's interested in kind of getting a replay of that, if they need to, rewind the tape there to catch what was just mentioned. This is, of course, recorded at this time, so we can always go back at any point. But also we'll provide, some notes for everyone to kind of get the maybe specific details that were most important. But certainly in this regard too, and you explained it, extremely well when it comes to how the point accrual is currently taking place. Of course, you can see a breakdown of what asset allows you to acquire what number of points in the light paper, which again you can find on the website on the official @serum_DAO account that's in on the stage right now. And in that light paper, you'll see which asset gets you which points. And in the coming weeks here, when the snapshot is going to be taking place, we were just told that there's also going to be the additional points that are delivered for those who have been a part of our participatory mechanics. So, for example, if, when one of the questions that was asked, for some time since the opening stage of fusion, where you burn your hound for a material, and what is the benefit for that, is you're going to get additional serum accrual for doing that. Had you kept it as a hound originally, that would have been a lower accrual amount, which is one of the participatory mechanics that is in play here. And of course, the additional is for participating in evolution, as we see for your MHIs, as we see with some of the PFPs currently in the audience right now. So for those as well, for participating, you will also be getting a larger serum point allocation, which will get you more serum when the token generation event launches. So that information to me super critical, and things that we want to kind of keep in mind as we continue to look forward to the token generation event. But certainly, and one of the things that definitely, as we kind of mentioned earlier, and we saw some posts that popped up for those that were in Lisbon, one of the things that really generated a bunch of buzz and excitement was seeing that little sneak peek of a 3D fused hound. And I do think at this time, now that we got a chance to kind of catch back up with all of the info that was just dropped, I think it'd be a great opportunity here to dive into a little bit more on the top level fusion update.
Sure. So I know everybody wants a cemented date for launch. I'm not going to give an exact date today. I've learned better than that. But what I will say is that Fusion is intended to launch before the token generating event under Serum DAO, and we're deploying it with a wider ecosystem use in mind. There's reasons that it's been a bit of a moving target, and some of our timelines with the collection of it dictated by that use case. So, as V said, those of you attending 8 Fest and at the Marvilla would have seen some of the supplementary work that's been going into the collection, and we'll share a bit more on that soon. Fusion, it's going to be launching on Ethereum, and it concludes the fourth succession quite neatly in what's been the Hound saga. The idea of that deflationary burn mechanic that we installed across, that started with collars a few years back now, through to Hounds, through to subsequent materials, and to reach fused. And as has been mentioned, our intention is to incentivize those sort of burning mechanics and that deflationary waterfall across those collections with Serum, and incentivize them further with the seasonal progression of Serum as well. Appreciate there's a lot of anticipation for this collection, and it's artistically it's been an enormous feat. It's something pretty special. We want it to see the light of day as much as anyone, and I think patience isn't just about biding time, but building something substantial. And our goal with everything we're doing is to future-proof Serum and the Mutant Cartel World collections. That's why we're producing a solid governance structure, proper scaffolding, proper incentives, and sort of real growth and partnerships outside of, let's say, the ebbs and flows of a bull climate. But hopefully that's enough to indicate what our sort of immediate plans with Fusion are, roughly where it will be in a timeline, if not an exact date. And it's something definitely to look forward to.
Very much so. It's something that is as highly anticipated as anything that Novel Labs or anything to come from the Mutant Cartel world has been up until this point and moving forward. So certainly we are anticipating that launch. And of course, one of the first things you mentioned there is the way that it's tying in to the Serum DAO. And for that is one of the takeaways that I'm going to be bringing along with me from this town hall, and also can help to shed some light on some of the inquiries that have been arriving in regards to the Fusion launch timeline. But as we learned just there, it's going to line up before the token generation event, which we have a general idea of when we'll launch. So for that, we'll certainly be able to determine what we're trying to figure out in regards to that launch. But speaking of inquiries, we of course wanted to open the floor for our audience. If anyone wants to hop up on stage to ask something, we can field a question or two. Simply send a request and we'll get you up here. But with that note, we also opened up the floor to a few questions prior to this space, so that we could have an opportunity to figure out what our community wants to learn in regards to the Serum DAO, Fusion, and anything Mutant Cartel world at this stage. And I'm going to go through a few of those questions at this point so we can answer some of these inquiries. First and foremost, and this one was asked by a few individuals and kind of alluded to a little earlier in this town hall today, but we'll go ahead and just clarify this for everyone fully. And this question is, do I need to claim a Serum passport to be eligible for the Serum token snapshot? And the answer to this question is, claiming a Serum passport, it is not required for the upcoming Serum snapshot. However, without a Serum passport, you will miss out on your governance multiplier, which allows you to have a larger impact on the DAO voting, and the perks that arrive with having a reputation. And of course, as we see in the audience with a PFP on Leo, for example, taking from the official Serum DAO logo, you want your drip to reach the floor. And you're not going to be able to acquire this without your Serum passport and attaining your reputation within the Mutant Cartel world. So it's highly recommended to claim your Serum passport. And again, the link can be found on the official @Serum_DAO account. And reach out if you have any questions in regards to connecting to Ape Chain, bridging Ape coin from Ethereum to the Ape Chain network, we have a community of individuals here that can offer you insight into how to accomplish that. The next question that we can answer at this time was, and it was alluded to just a moment ago, but we'll reiterate here for the sake of those asking, when can we expect fusing to begin? And as we heard earlier, we have a special deployment arriving with the launch of fusing that ties in directly to the Serum DAO's operational launch. And the details that were shared earlier could shed some light into the timeline, which again is expected for prior to the token generation event coming early Q1 2025. Next question that arrived in our pre-loaded questions here from our Mutant Cartel community. Were the plans for the Ethereum hounds changed because of the ordinal collection's direction? And for this, our Mutant Hound Inscriptions ordinals, our first Bitcoin collection, presented an additional opportunity that we capitalize to spread our tentacles into all of the chains that are available as a cross-chain operation. But the original journey of our favorite Ethereum hounds, and as they move forward to the fused hounds and the DAO launch, these are things that have always been the course that was set when the ETH hounds were launched, and nothing has changed from that point until this point and moving forward. And another question that arrived here from our community is, will we be able to stake any of our assets in the Serum DAO? And to this, the opportunity to stake Mutant Cartel World assets will not be present yet prior to the token generation event. However, it is something that we're exploring along with other DeFi opportunities for the Serum DAO and Mutant Cartel World assets. So there is the potential for that to be taking place. So as we look forward, ladies and gentlemen, to what is arriving with the Serum DAO, how impactful your Serum passport is to attaining your reputation and having your say in the DAO, and how the Fusion launch is tied in to the Serum DAO launch. I'm quite excited about what the prospects of this is going to lead to, and just what these special items on the Serum DAO timeline that we find in the light paper all mean as they come to life. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are certainly thankful for you all to join us today. If we don't have any requests, we're happy again. If anyone would like to hop up on stage, please feel free to send a request. We have a few minutes remaining here that we'll be willing to take your questions. And from there, I can send it on back over to the Duke. Otherwise, if you had any words you would like to impart upon our audience before we bid them a farewell to enjoy the rest of their Sunday.
Cheers, mate. I think it's probably worth saying as well that involvement in the DAO, in the Mutant Cartel world, it has a lot of touch points that extend much further beyond the walls of, let's say, Discord or your holdership. And the idea of what we're trying to build with the passports and the reputation score is to find smart ways of capturing that contribution and harnessing it in the right way. So we've got 3 active components of that reputation score live, and we'll be looking to add further components in an evolving way that captures accurately those contributions that extend outside of the known channels and the familiar spaces. I also think that, the next 2 months, there's a lot planned for the final 2 months of the year, and at the same time, confidence seems to be returning to the market. So let's get at it.
Let us do that indeed. The time to erect the Serum Dow, fusing, and all of the mutant cartel world has been put upon us, and that time is nigh. Ladies and gentlemen, greatly appreciate you taking your time to join us today for our latest town hall. On behalf of myself and all of Novel Labs and the entire mutant cartel world, we bid you a happy Serum Sunday. Enjoy it and be back ready for another week in Web3. We'll be checking in with you tomorrow for Mutant Monday. Otherwise, we'll catch you in Serum City. And reach out if you have any questions. And feel free to join the Mutant Cartel Discord in my bio or the bio of the host. And from there, we wish you a happy Serum Sunday. Much love and peace.